We always hear about the brain being the body's command center or the heart as its engine. But today, we're going to talk about the organ that's arguably the true most valuable player, the absolute powerhouse that is the liver.
So let's just kick things off with a totally mind-blowing fact. What is the one and only organ in your entire body that can actually regrow itself? Yep, it's the liver. This incredible, almost superpower-like ability to regenerate means its function often isn't even affected until there's some serious damage. I mean, talk about resilience.
And just to give you a sense of the insane workload this thing handles, get a load of this number. That's 1.5 liters of blood pumping through your liver, not per day, not per hour, every single minute. It is a non-stop, high-volume processing hub.
So what's the big picture here? Well, the liver isn't just one thing. It's this multitasking marvel. Seriously, think of it as your body's unsung hero. It's running a chemical factory, managing a long-term storage unit, and operating a super sophisticated waste treatment plant all at the same time. It does the whole shebang.
Okay, so let's unpack that factory idea, starting with its role as the master chemist. Because when it comes to managing your body's energy, you better believe all roads lead right to the liver. It really is the central station for your entire metabolism.
In this right here, this is a perfect example of its balancing act. After you eat a meal, your liver prevents your blood sugar from going haywire by taking all that extra glucose and storing it. That's glycogenesis. But let's say you're fasting, it does the exact opposite. It breaks down that stored glucose and releases it to keep you from crashing. That's glycogenolysis. It's this constant, delicate dance to keep your energy levels perfectly stable.
Oh, but that's not all, not even close. If you're low on carbs, the liver can literally make new glucose from scratch for you. It's also the one and only place in your body that produces vital plasma proteins like albumin. And on top of all that, it's in charge of managing your fats, making cholesterol, triglycerides, you name it. It's just an unbelievably versatile chemist.
All right, let's shift gears to its next major role. The liver is also the ultimate filter and factory. See, it's not just breaking things down, it's building essential components for your body and cleaning your blood at the very same time.
And one of its most critical jobs, and I mean this is literally life-saving, is detoxification. When your body breaks down protein, it creates a byproduct called ammonia, which is super toxic. Seriously, if that stuff builds up, it can cause major damage to your brain. So the liver's job is to step in and turn that poison into something safe.
And here's exactly how it does it. It's called the urea cycle. So that toxic ammonia enters the liver then puts it through this really elegant chemical process, and voila, it transforms it into non-toxic urea, which is totally safe and water-soluble. From there, it just gets sent over to the kidneys to be flushed out in your urine. An absolutely brilliant solution to a potentially deadly problem.
Now, sticking with that factory metaphor, just look at its product line. We already mentioned plasma proteins, but it also makes the clotting factors that literally stop you from bleeding, the bile you need to digest fat, cholesterol, and even an alternative fuel source for your body called ketone bodies. It is constantly churning out things your body absolutely cannot live without.
So with all these crucial jobs, what happens when this hero starts to falter? How would we even know that something's wrong? Well, this is where we have to become detectives and look for the telltale signs.
And the most visible clue is usually jaundice, that yellowing of the skin and eyes. But here's something that is so important to understand. Jaundice isn't the disease itself. Think of it more like a symptom, a big flashing warning light that's pointing to a problem somewhere else, usually in the liver or maybe even the blood.
And to understand jaundice, we first have to talk about this molecule, bilirubin. It's basically a yellow pigment that gets created when your old red blood cells are broken down. Now normally, the liver just swoops in, processes it, and clears it right out of your body. Jaundice is simply what happens when that process fails, and this yellow pigment starts to build up.
So let's decode this mystery, shall we? Because by understanding exactly how the liver is supposed to handle bilirubin, we can actually pinpoint where the problem is.
Okay, now this is the key to the whole mystery. You see, there are two forms of bilirubin, and the difference between them is everything. Before the liver gets its hands on it, bilirubin is unconjugated. Just think of that as being a form that isn't water-soluble, so your body can't flush it out in urine. The liver's job is to conjugate it. Basically, it attaches it to another molecule, making it water-soluble so it can finally be removed. So, which type is high in the blood tells us a whole lot about what's going wrong. And this table just breaks it all down perfectly.
In prehepatic jaundice, the problem is happening before it even gets to the liver. Too many red blood cells are breaking down, and the factory is just totally overloaded. So what do you see? High levels of that unprocessed, unconjugated bilirubin. Then there's hepatic jaundice. Here, the factory itself is broken. The liver cells are damaged, they can't do their job, so you get a buildup of both types. And finally, in post-hepatic jaundice, the liver actually did its job, but the shipping route is blocked, say by a gallstone. That means the processed, conjugated bilirubin can't get out. See? It all makes sense when you think of it that way.
So, what have we learned? The liver is a regenerator, a master chemist, a filter, and a factory. It balances our energy, it detoxifies our blood, and it builds the very blocks of life. So after everything it does for us 24/7 without a single break, isn't it time we finally give this unsung hero the credit it so clearly deserves?